Lindsay Lohan's daring to educate herself and is going through life, it seems, in an open-minded way. How dare she?
To address these rumours that were sparked when you were pictured with the Quran under your arm, are you going to convert to Islam?
I think that me studying the Quran is something that I found a solace in. I do study it.
There you go, Lindsay Lohan. She's interested in Islam and is reading the Quran. Isn't it amazing that the cultural weight of negativity attached to Islam, an ancient faith that has 1.5 billion devotees in 5 continents, speaking hundreds of different languages, all manner of varieties, different strands and brands, different countries, very complex, can sort of now just be sort of like, what's next, Lindsay? You're going to blow up a synagogue? You're going to shoot a priest? Well, I'm just reading a book.
Nothing is confirmed yet, but...
You read the Quran regularly, right?
Yeah, I do.
In English, or in Arabic?
It's translation. But it's easier for me to learn Arabic by writing it and for prayer hour listening to it.
I've noticed you've Instagrammed some sayings from Prophet Muhammad. I mean, you're taking this pretty seriously.
You're taking this pretty seriously, which is not something we're going to afford you. We're going to be looking at you quite cynically and coldly and cruelly. Lindsay Lohan, a person I've met once or twice, it was not, I don't think, below the belt to say she's had addiction issues and has been famous since she's been very, very young. She's struggled with all manner of problems. And for myself as a person in recovery from addiction, a spiritual dimension to recovery is an extremely important component, and also, I would say, not open to external critique or judgment from anybody.
I mean, are you in the
Salam Alaikum on my phone, and that Quran shot was actually from New York almost 5 years ago, or 4 years ago.
But just to clarify, are you in the process?
Just to clarify, that's not interesting. Can we just to clarify, by which I mean make this a bit more murky and complicated?
Are you in the process of potentially converting to Islam? Is that how you would categorise it?
I think...
Is that how you'd categorise it, or shall I just keep pushing you until you do categorise it like that, because then we'll get headlines from this interview?
Religion is, any religion anyone chooses is a personal belief, just as a spirituality, whatever you believe. My sister's Buddhist.
We're not interested in Buddhism. There's no violent Buddhists except in Burma and places where it doesn't matter and it's too complicated to go into. What we want is for you to say something about being a Muslim, and then could you do something a bit violent? That would be perfect. If you could say I'm a Muslim now and then tip over the fruit bowl saying something religious in that Arab language that they do, that would be lovely.
It's a consideration I have.
Why are you reluctant to say either way?
Yeah, it's almost as if you sense that we're trying to cynically manipulate this information to condemn you, undermine you, criticise you, as well as the faith of Islam. Where are you picking that up from, Lindsay?
Because I don't want to speak on something that I haven't finished yet. I don't think that's right.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare try to be reasonable, be mature. Don't be intellectually and spiritually inquisitive. Just be a drug addict. If you are going to be Muslim, you better be violent quite quickly afterwards, because otherwise we're going to have nothing before the break.
What is it that appeals about Islam to you?
As I said before, I find a solace in studying not just the Quran, other religion.
I wasn't interested in that bit where you said you find solace in the Quran. I'm not interested in Sufism. I'm not interested in calligraphy. I'm not interested in beautiful mosques. I'm not interested in astronomy. I'm not interested in the many important contributions to global culture that have come from the Arabic world. I'm interested in you saying that. Look, Lindsay, let me just step here. Say this. I like it because of 9/11 and terrorism and that, and I'm really into terrorism and stuff like that, and terrorism and Islam is one thing. Could you just please say that, Lindsay? Come on!
Just like meditation, I think something that feeds my soul and learning different cultures and beliefs.
Stop talking about your soul. Stop talking about cultures. Stop talking about Islam as some sort of spiritual thing, a world philosophy to help you tackle the idea of mortality, and there might be something more important to life than the material world. Don't do any of that. Say this. I'm having a mental breakdown and Islam is violent. Say it.
In the Islamic culture, I found a lot of people that I feel like it's a family to me, a lot of my friends that are Arab.
All right, Lindsay, could we settle for I'm having a mental breakdown and mental illness and Islam one thing? Could you do that for us?
And they've been really good people to me, and also working with kids in Syria. It's something I want to learn the language so that I can discuss situations with them. I want to be on the same page as everyone, and when I go to Turkey and there's prayer hour, it calms me.
Dear old Piers Morgan there, he's sort of loosely waiting for the opportunity to go for the kill like that python in bloody Jungle Book.
What have we here?
And everything she's saying is that she's feeling a sense of connection, that she's praying, that she's feeling a connection to other people, she's feeling a connection to a higher sense in herself, connection to a higher world. That is what Islam is about. That is it. The secondary narrative that Islam is a fuel for violence, that's being used by people that are in power, and even at the level of this sort of quite trite daytime TV thing, they are pushing that narrative. So I don't believe like exclusively in conspiracy theories, but here we are just watching something as innocuous and harmless as Good Morning Britain at 8:22 in the morning, and they're pushing a powerful agenda.
When I was flying to New York recently, I was wearing a headscarf, and I got stopped. She opened my passport and saw Lindsay Lohan and started immediately apologizing.
Madam, could you take off your headscarf? Oh, it's Lindsay Lohan. Could you just do a few lines from Herbie Goes Bananas just to really take the edge off of the scarf thing?
But then said, please, but take off your headscarf. What scared me is that moment, how would another woman who doesn't feel comfortable taking off her headscarf feel?
Who cares?
What was the reason that you were wearing the headscarf? Is that part of your studying
Well,
of
you know what's so
Islam?
interesting to me is that when we look back on Grace Kelly and Audrey Hepburn and, you know, these old Hollywood actresses, they used to cover up the same way with their big glasses and their headscarf.
But
and
that's not
it
for
was
religious reasons.
What's the reason you're covering your head up? Vanity? Carry on! And you, ma'am? Oh, I've got this connection to a belief system. There's rituals I'm going to. It's to do with history, identity. It's quite complex. Get it off!
So you were doing it for privacy reasons rather than for spiritual or religious reasons?
I was doing it because I was leaving Turkey and out of respect for certain countries that I go to, and when I see certain people, I think I feel more comfortable.
How about, why don't you mind your own fucking business about why a person's got a headscarf on? Some clothes. It's no one else's business. Why are you wearing that suit? Why are you wearing that dress? Why are you asking those questions? Why are you wearing those shoes? Why'd you take that job? Why are you using that hairspray? Why are you supporting an agenda of corporate elites? Money in it? Fair enough.
Aren't you doing a news thing where you take over people's Twitter?
Yes, I hack and take over your social media for 24 hours.
Oh, can you do
Terrifying.
it with Piers Morgan,
Do
please?
not- you're not getting
I would
into
love
mine.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, Piers, you wouldn't want to be involved in hacking anybody's phone, would you?
I can't think of anything more terrifying than Lindsay Lohan getting into my Twitter and tweeting.
I can, Piers. I'm thinking about it right now. Oh, God. Are they still in there? Ah!
Not
As
just
me.
your Twitter, your phone,
Really?
all of your
Everything?
social media.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Lindsay Lohan there, daring to express herself spiritually and trying to develop and evolve as a woman. I suppose my personal opinion on it, well done, Lindsay Lohan, for looking at the world in a different way and developing and evolving yourself and communicating in a way that's evidently challenging for some people. Good luck on your journey, and I suppose that shouldn't all of us encourage people to be spiritual and to reach out to one another and be a little less judgmental. Right, well, I feel like I've done a pretty good job of this episode of The Trews. I'm just doing this out of vanity reasons, so don't judge me. Thanks very much. Subscribe here if you want to.
Nose is a tool that is abused to fool you and to leave you scared and confused. Trews is like the nose. If the nose was true, I want some trews. Let's have some trews.